I'm gonna start looking for a new wallet. So I figured I would start with some wallets by Alpaka, and I've got these two right here to start. What's going on, everybody? This is Lamar with MF and Research, and today we're gonna take a look at a couple wallets from Alpaka. We've got the zip card pouch and the zip card holder to try to see if they're gonna work for me as a wallet for my day-to-day needs. So what I'm looking for is a wallet that can hold my key fob, maybe a pen, maybe a small notebook, and most importantly, hold my badge. So my office changed the way you can get in and out of the building now, and you have to badge in and out. So I would prefer to have that kind of quick access to get in and out when I need to. So what I'm looking for is a weekday when I have to go into the office wallet, kind of that hybrid between a pouch and a wallet, just to give me what I need. So let's take a look at these two and see what happens. So the exterior comes in at a 210D Axoflux, and then on the interior, you've also got a 210D Axoflux, but that just comes in as orange. Speaking of colors, you can get it in gray, or black, green, or I chose the blue. There's two internal pockets, one right here and one right here, and inside you can hold 12 to 20 plus cards, and we'll show you that a little bit later. There's also a front external slot for another card if you want to put something there. There's a YKK silent zipper on this guy as well. And then it's RFID blocking. Right here, you can connect it to the hub system that I've shown a few times, and check out the Hub Pouch Pro to see that a little bit better. But right here, it connects right in there. It's 3.23 by 4.72 by 0.63, and it comes in at a volume of 0.15 liters. It weighs in at about 40 grams. And if you like this style and want something along these same lines, you can take a look at the Zip ID wallet or the Zip Travel wallet. So now let's take a look at the zip card holder. So there are two different material options on this guy. It's a VX21 in black, the green, or the coyote brown, but this is the orange, and the orange comes in VX25. And then I don't remember what they said this interior is, but I'm sure it's something along the same lines as some of their other Alpaka stuff. And I'll look, if I can find that, I'll put a note of what that is on here. It says it holds 4 to 12 cards. It's got an external back pocket for up to 2 cards. It's got a pin loop. It's got a slot right there for something thin, like a thin pliers or something like that. You've got a zipper pocket right there, and then you've got, basically, that's where your cards would go. It's RFID blocking as well. It's got YKK AquaGuard zippers on this guy. It's compatible with the hub system as well, whereas this one had it built in right there. This one hangs a little bit, so it's right there in that loop, more the traditional style. It comes in at 8.5 by 5.11 by 0.6. It's a little bit heavier at 42 grams. And if you like this style, there's a few more options in here. You can go with the Zip Pouch Pro, the Zip Pouch, or the Zip Pouch Coin. So like we talked about it before, let me just give you my loadout goals so you can see how I'm kind of rating the two of them. So first of all, it has to hold at least 6 cards. It has to hold my key fob. It has to hold my badge on the outside and be easy to access and be secure while it's in that front pocket. And maybe if I'm lucky, a small flashlight, a pen, and a couple other things. So now we talked about the features. Let's put a couple things in them and I can tell you where each one shines. So this is the zip card pouch. I think this one does the best if you're transitioning from a large wallet with a lot of cards. I think I've got about 17 cards. I've got just some blank cards here and some miscellaneous cards that I've used before, and I think it's 17 total. If you have a lot of cards and a thick wallet and a lot of cash and stuff like that, you can probably make this fit a little better. This is an easier way to transition if you want to go to something a little more streamlined if you've got that big wallet. But if you want to hold some EDC gear, it's very difficult to do that because there's no loops on the inside. I could probably squeeze my pen in right there on the side, but getting to it gets a little bit annoying. And if you don't want the EDC stuff, if you carry it somewhere else in a pouch or a pocket caddy or something like that, and you just want the wallet, I think this is where this guy shines at. And if you like this zipper, you can go with this as well. So I think those are the areas where this guy shines. So now let's go to the zip card holder as well. If you want those AquaGuard zippers, I think this is where you shine. I think if you want to incorporate more EDC gear in what you're carrying, so just like this, we can just take the pin, throw that in there, throw that in here. I'm not going to put that on there. And you could put this here, like so. If I don't stop dropping it, you can put that there. And then still have a spot for a couple cards in here. If I can get that in there. So I think I caught the little divider. So let's fix that. So now we got that. And then you can try, if you want to stick a card there. But you got a little bit more variety of stuff that you can put in here. And you can also set it up so if you took some of this stuff out, you can make this a little more. You have your pen or a little mini notebook, like the little Write in the Rain notebooks that I usually pair with these pens. That works out a little better in something like this. Now that we've looked at them, looked at where they shine, you kind of get a feel based on what I need. Let me know which one you think I'm gonna go for, and we'll talk about that at the end. Let's talk about some of the drawbacks of each one. So the zip card, I mean, it's really basic. It's just some material. It's made well, but it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't really hold any of the other gear very well. It fits my key fob when I had my cards in here, but I didn't really like it. It was kind of tight. So putting that, I'll show you that real quick. So putting a couple cards in there and then trying to put my key fob in there like that. It fit, but I was always worried that if I pressed up against it real quick, I could lock my doors, unlock my doors, or of course put the panic button on, which is more than likely to happen. So I didn't really like how that fit. And it just felt like the way it's set up, there was a little bit of wasted space right here. And it just felt like it was a little bit bigger than what you needed. So I felt like if you're gonna go this route and you see where the cards sit, you have all this space, and then that's the same on the front. You could probably get rid of some of this material. You could do that, make it a little more streamlined, and still probably hold all the cards. I don't know if they had to make it this big to make it open this wide to get as many cards as you need to get up to 20. Not really sure, but it could have been, like I said, a little bit shorter and a little bit more narrow. So now on this one, the thing, and if you saw me put the stuff in here, one of the first things you probably noticed is that if you loaded everything in the outside first, you had a hard time getting stuff in here. And then if you load stuff here, this pocket becomes difficult to access. So the big drawback in using this guy is just the competing access between the exterior and the interior. Also, the other thing that I didn't like, and I'll show you that here, is the way you got to put your cards in is kind of like you have to start here and do that. And even when you're pulling them out, you have to kind of angle them out and then pull them out. It's very difficult, especially when you have more than one card in here, to just reach in and just pull a card out. So that takes a little bit of extra time, and I wasn't really a big fan of that. And then when I had my key fob and all that stuff in here, and I had my badge in here like this, it made it a little bit difficult trying to get it out quickly when I'm trying to badge into the building. And the other thing, looking at, let's again put some cards in there as well. The other thing I want to show you is if you use this for cards, you see where the card sits. Let's see if I can show you that. So the card sits about right here. So right there, kind of where this stops. So all this, if you're only using this as a wallet, you've got all this extra space up here, and then all this extra space here. So kind of where the seam of the zipper stops to there. So this would just be the space if you just had cards in there. So if you're using it for just cards, it's a little bit more extra space even than this one. So I really didn't like it as a wallet either. I liked it a little better for holding the EDC stuff, and we'll talk about which one I like more and which one I plan on using and what I plan on doing going forward. And let's go back up top for that. So now we've talked about all the good stuff. Now I'm going to tell you which one I like moving forward. Honestly, if I had to pick one, the zip card holder is going to be the winner. It's the closest to meeting my needs, but I'm going to be honest, while they're both good, and if they meet your needs, I think they'll be solid for you, they're not what I'm looking for, so the hunt is still going to continue. And that's why a lot of times when you're making purchases for new gear, it's really important to figure out what you needed to do first just before you buy that new shiny thing. So while I did that, sometimes you still strike out, and that's okay. That's part of the fun in the journey. So right now I'm gonna go back to using the Alpaka Hub Pouch Pro because that works a little bit better for what I need. I wish it was maybe half the size, but so far I like it better than the two. Some other ones you want to look at, if you're wanting to look at the Alpaka ecosystem, you can look at the Hub Zip Pocket and the Zip Coin wallet. So this, I guess, is going to begin my hunt for a new EDC wallet for when I'm in the office. Let me know of some wallets that you know out there. I know of one from One Tigress. I've got a couple other ones that I might look at, so let me know what you recommend and maybe pick some of those up and add to the series and see what works and maybe find a better wallet to meet my needs. As always, take care of yourself, take care of each other. There's a couple videos on the screen. You can take a look at those. I'm Lamar with MF and Research. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.